topic is also very modern and very promising. So hopefully we will be able to add value to some of the requirements of future as well as the time. I would like to introduce my co-panelist. So the first one, Ms. Shobha from Saahas Zero Waste. She is like very experienced in e-waste recycling and has done a lot of work. And then we have a great scholar, Dr. Harveen Kaur, and she has done her PhD in e-waste recycling. And then we have Mr. Utkarsh from BatX. They are primarily into battery recycling, lithium-ion battery recycling. And then we have Mr. Manish Agarwal from Vrindavan Plastics, and they are again into recycling. So we'll start with some introductory remarks. Like since last 200 years, we are exploiting the Mother Earth like anything. So we are trying to consume whatever is available in terms of raw material, resource, nature, anything. We are only consuming. So it's consumer-oriented behavior kind of like philosophy we have since last 200 years. But now we all have understood we need to stop here. We need to stop here because we have very limited natural resources available or left with us now, and we have to give something to our next generations, and then only they can also enjoy the similar facilities, the similar technology, the similar oxygen or similar water or something. So probably compared to our ancestors, we are more educated, more aware in terms of how to conserve the nature, how to reuse, recycle, and regenerate the things. And the term urban mining comes very appropriate in this sense, because we are using a lot of electronics, a lot of technology these days, and you know the way we are moving ahead, it's very clear. Without technology, we are becoming more and more handicapped. If we do not have a mobile phone for, say, 2 hours or 3 hours, we feel like, you know, we are losing our breath. So, considering that, we all need to keep this technology alive, and for that, these gadgets alive. Without gadgets, we cannot have these technologies. So, how to keep these gadgets alive? We were dependent a lot on China for raw materials like precious metals, rare earth, and all that. And now we have, you know, not very good relations with China. So a lot of material we are finding it difficult to import from China, and when we are importing it from other countries like Chile, Peru, like South American countries. So these are pretty expensive compared to China. So what is the possibilities? What are the possibilities? What is the way out? So that is the best possibility is urban mining. Means recover as much as possible. Don't throw the gadgets irresponsibly. Dispose these gadgets with proper responsibility. And with this note, I would like to move to Ms. Shobha to share her views, her work, and some suggestions regarding this. Ms. Shobha, please.
Good evening. I think fag end of a day in Delhi is not the best time, and thinking about traffic, but it's very interesting that business world is talking today about waste on a prime platform, and thanks for this opportunity. So let me say that we have, in the 21st century, we have now moved or accelerated from exploiting humans to exploiting nature. This is how we have, with technology, we are going in a direction that is not good for nature, not humans, and all this is happening because of the change that we require from a perspective of convenience. Click a button and there's convenience at your doorstep. But now it has to also be responsible consumption. And responsible consumption starts from consumer, and apart from the producer side and their responsibilities about using materials that can last longer, making products that can last longer, apart from their responsibility, which is like a given, there is a big responsibility on the consumer side also. Now, if you're talking about urban mining, if you look at the SDGs, SDG 11 is sustainable cities and communities. So, which means to say that can we circulate our material within our own cities and communities? Whatever we are generating as waste, is there a possibility that we can recover that waste as a resource as much close to the source as possible? And I believe that it is possible because we are talking urban, and urban cities are very well equipped with manufacturing setups, right? And it is about time that we have recycling parks in the urban cities where this urban mining from waste can be a reality and at a good scale. So this is my first point. The second point is around the quality of resource. Now today, urban mining is being discussed because we are talking about circular economy. And circular economy means that you are generating, you are able to get recycled resource, and there is quality in that recycled resource, and it is of commodity grade. When the focus of the recycling industry is quality, then the manufacturing sector can actually close loop this recycled material into their supply chain, and circular economy can be truly made real. And earlier panel discussion was talking about plastics and its challenges in recycling. That's the reality, and hence it is going back to the manufacturing sector. How can they ensure that they make more homogeneous products that are more easily handled with waste management organizations like us that have invested heavily on MRFs? We are sorting and we are enabling circular economy, enabling recycling, but it becomes so difficult to remove the cap, the lid, the sticker, the bottom, and then color sort it. It becomes very difficult to. It's time consuming. It's a very labor intensive, and it has got a lot of cost in it. And therefore, sometimes it doesn't become economically viable. Therefore, it all goes to the point of how can manufacturing sector look at their design, and how can consumer look at a responsible consumption. So urban mining is definitely possible, and it's high time we have, I think Jaipur has got the first recycling park, and it's important that other cities now also get such large facilities so that organizations like us can move into that space and start doing good recycling. Thank you.
So, very nice work by Shobha, and a very good start rather. Throwing some light on urban mining and e-waste recycling. So I'll move next to Dr. Harveen Kaur, who is a real scholar for e-waste recycling. So I will request her to share some views.
Thank you so much to BW for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share my views. So, referring to urban mining, as it means reclaiming the materials and bringing them back into the system, following a closed loop approach. It becomes pertinent that we look into those aspects wherein we have caused a lot of harm to the environment, and we are, taking all these materials from the environment as such, but not, taking them back to the environment. So for that, it becomes very important that we look into the efficiency and recovery of these materials from the, products that we have already manufactured. And as Shobha ma'am also mentioned that, we need to have a system in place for cities, and cities are grappling with a lot of pollution, urbanization. So it becomes very important that we, also focus upon the planning of cities. So when we are planning cities, we should plan them in a way so that we have, designated places for the collection of waste that we are generating. We should be able to create awareness at city level to the consumers and the citizens about best ways and practices to manage e-waste. And here source segregation becomes very pertinent because consumers or citizens are not aware that this source segregation can actually help other stakeholders to collect the waste from the market. And then when we talk about other aspects of urban mining, like what are the challenges, then one of the challenges is that recyclers do not get the required quantity from the market. They are unable to channelize it in a proper way because consumers or citizens' participation is poor, and awareness level is one of the reasons for that. So we should help other stakeholders as well. And when we talk about promising opportunities in this area, then of course it has a lot of opportunities and can provide immense job opportunities to the informal sector or the people who are working in manufacturing and production sector. And for that, it is very important that we do the assessments of the already ongoing programs and the recycling operations, be it EPR authorization that is being taken by producers, what challenges they are facing, and bridge the gap between them. And then a creation of those centers, like MIT has created some centers for excellence, wherein they are providing skilling to the youth as well as people who want to learn how they should carry out recycling aspects. So a creation of those institutions is very important, so that when we are creating a task force for the this sector, recycling sector, then we should assure that whatever they are learning, they are able to apply that, and they are able to get the job in the required sector. So that becomes important. So these are some of the suggestions from my end. And from government perspective, I would like to highlight that government has also come up with many missions wherein they are focusing on urban mining directly or indirectly, like we have Swachh Bharat mission, we have Digital India, Make in India. So all these are very promising missions of the government wherein they are focusing upon advancement of technologies, but at the same time now focus has also shifted to the recycling and waste management aspects. And a recent policy by Niti Aayog which focuses on the name of policy is NPE, National Policy for Electronics, which came in 2019. Is a very promising policy that has come up, wherein it will be helping the startups for recycling in this area, and also they are promoting a lot of incentivization in the sector. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
So this is not everything from your side, because you have a second round as well. Just to add here, there is one specific property which is associated with the electronic recycling, that it reduces a lot of toxic waste, which is probably not coming from other materials, like even plastic or different kind of plastics are not that toxic, because a lot of rare earth material, heavy metals are being used in e-waste. So naturally, when it goes to landfill and adding into the water, into the food, in terms of microparticles, So it is harming many folds compared to any other used material. So that part also need to be considered while we are promoting the e-waste recycling. And with these words, I'm giving the podium to Mr. Utkarsh, who is from BatX, and they are experts in battery recycling. So battery recycling is a buzzword these days because everyone wants to buy a electric car. So no restrictions for 15, 20, 25 years. So over to you, Utkarsh.
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, BW Business World, and to be a part of this great panel. So I'll start first of all from the perspective of urban mining, little bit touch upon what urban mining really is, and then take it to some good and interesting facts about lithium-ion battery recycling. So it's the buzzword, right? Urban mining. Why are we actually doing urban mining? It is to substitute the real mining that is happening all across the world, which is in many terms, it is catastrophic for mankind, because the way cobalt is mined in DRC in Congo, every day, 10 to 20 people die because they literally jump into the mines, and those who can't come back, they are left back behind in the mine. The way lithium is mined, and lithium is one of the hottest, metal all across the world. The way it is mined is to extract 1 ton of lithium, approximately 700 gallons of water is wasted, right? And it's the same way is for nickel as well. So urban mining is basically remining. I would say I would use the term remine from the products that are already being floated in the market, right? To give you some examples, right, you will be surprised to know even you yourself right now is carrying approximately 6 grams of lithium, 8 grams of cobalt, and 6 grams of nickel with you. But none of us know it. And whenever we go to a shop, we just leave our old battery there of the mobile phone and get the new battery replaced. So it is about creating the awareness. So I think urban mining is very, very important as a term for everybody to understand. Apart from that, now all the elements that are there in the periodic table, all the 119 elements, there is a very basic property of that, which is it can neither be created nor destroyed. So, which means it can be reused again and again infinitely. And that is what we intend to do in this sector, which is evolving right now for battery recycling, because of the given push of substituting the ice age vehicles. Electric mobility is a very prominent solution that the world is promising, and all the vehicles will be powered with lithium-ion batteries, because there's a tendency of lithium. It is the most dense metal. It can create the it can contain the maximum energy within the least space. So therefore lithium will be there, that will be used for lithium-ion batteries. Now the challenge is, what is the average lifespan of these batteries? It is approximately 3 to 5 years. So we have to be equipped and prepared today. What will happen when these batteries start coming back? Now there are two ways. Either you go all around the world and get the technology and try to set up the technology, or you develop it yourself in India. I think the pinpoint problem where India is lacking and now coping up is the development and advancement of recycling technologies. Like if anybody wants to start e-waste, they will simply go and get a plant from China. So we never get that concept, right? What is that concept to get a plant from China and run it? You have to invest a lot on R&D, and then make sure that we are able to recover at least not 100% but 99 up to 95% of the material. So I think government and the other agencies are working toward how we can expedite the process of R&D. That is one very critical thing which will add to urban mining. When we talk about the concept of waste to resource, so at the same time, like yesterday we were having a meeting with one of the very prominent companies like Apple, right? So now they have a mandate to use approximately 80% of recycled cobalt into their phones. And the problem is, for example, if we are refining cobalt, we are producing cobalt in India, nobody is ready to pay the right price. So we have to export it, right? Even in exports now, other countries have become very smart that they also don't pay the right price. But yesterday we got to know for the recycled cobalt, nickel and lithium, you are going to get premium because these companies have mandates. So it's a great incentive for recyclers as well. So many such incentives will promote recyclers, first of all, to develop the technology within India, because the environment and the systems in India work very differently as compared to technology in China. And trust me, they never give you the 100% technology, right? They just give you the 55 to 60% of it, and which we believe is a lot. It is nothing, right? So I think indigenous technology, making sure we get premium for the products that are being produced, and spreading the awareness that how important urban mining is, because all of these metals can be used infinitely. So this is what our intent, and I think that will add to urban mining. That's about this.
Very true, Manish. So there are a lot of opportunities in this domain, and a lot of things are happening, but again we need to develop probably technology and the mindset, and the reduced dependency on other countries or from other domains to make it independent, so that this urban mining really makes sense in real terms. So again, when we talk about urban mining, it's not just e-waste or batteries, or because now we have the material which is composite in nature. It contains a lot of things. When you buy a mobile phone, it contains plastics, it contains metal, it contains rare earths, it contains precious metal, it contains glass also. So we need to know how to handle different materials together. And with this point of view, or with this, if we can enlarge it a little bit, how to handle different kind of material together, including e-waste in the urban civilization. I am going to reaching out to Mr. Manish, and if you can throw some light on this.
Sure. First of all, I would like to thank Business World for inviting us here. As you said, being from a plastic recycling industry, I see the things from a different perspective, Whatever is going in the landfill, that's the big issue today. Now, because of the improper source segregation, lot of valuable things are going in the landfill. I hope you all agree with this. So our key part, our key role, it starts is, how to see that as a good resource. The material which is lying in the landfill, it should not be seen as a burden. It should be seen as a good resource. As Utkarsh said just now, that those recycled metal and all those things, he is able to fetch more price. The same way, whatever is there in the landfill, whatever is going because of the improper handling, you will be shocked that we are able to recycle that. We are able to get.
It's like जब आप कोई घर किसी को रेंट पे देते हैं और वो उस पे कब्जा कर लेता है, तो उसको खाली करवाना ज़्यादा महंगा पड़ता है. So it's something like that, Sir, we just want to get rid of all this waste, and we are ready to pay any price. If not today, maybe tomorrow, the situation will happen like this.
तो सर वही हो रहा है अभी बॉम्बे में मुलुंड में एक लैंडफिल है which is in around 12 acres, I think if I'm not wrong. अब वो एक जमाने में शहर के बाहर हुआ करता था. अब बॉम्बे has multiplied. Now that landfill has become a part of the city. चारों तरफ से बिल्डिंग से बीच में वो लैंडफिल आ गया. So government wants to get that land empty. They are ready to pay anything. बाबा इसको हटाइए. Now हटाइए का मतलब, there is good resource in that. There is good plastic in that. But the way it has been just poured, अभी उसका कुछ वैल्यू नजर नहीं आ रहा है. So the systems where the key point is, it's very valuable things are hidden in that. और खाली बॉम्बे नहीं, हर जगह है वैसा. The main key thing is what is required when we talk about urban mining or we talk about recycling. Key, good technologies are required. Good collaboration with government body is required. There are good people, good technology. Everything is available here. As she was saying, ki, indigenous technology is there for every damn thing. But the key thing is somebody has to come forward and take this task. And the quantum which is there, I mean, plastic is just a small part. Plastic is there, metal is there. What I have visited at least 4 or 5 landfills in last 3 months, and I was shocked. So much of plastic, and why it is reaching is because the source segregation is not better. So the people who are running the MRF, it becomes a headache for them. अरे बाबा इतना MLP है, सब mix है, इसको जाने दो landfill में. There is no proper accountability. So people want to keep the single plastic, monolayer plastic. MLP जाने दो, it's not valuable. But now the time has come, as the gentleman from Bangalore was sharing, that MLP is getting recycled. There are good products which can be made from MLP material also. In fact, very soon MLP granules we can export also, and people will pay the premium for that. And that MLP is lying in our landfill.
Yeah. So great. Like we all know that I think in more or less everywhere in any urban civilization, there's a bigger problem now. We have landfills, we have unmanaged waste, we have no proper system of segregation or proper waste collection, and that is becoming bigger and bigger problem. So anyway, let's come back to the main theme, that is urban mining. So I'll come back to Shobha with a question. Shobha, what challenges you feel we have in the coming time? Because okay, whatever we have done so far, we are still not very behind to what was required to be done. Since this electronic thing is not very old, say 15, 20 years old. So, but now this need to be addressed. And what are the challenges and what are the possibilities in terms of facing those challenges? If you can throw some light on that.
I'll answer your question slightly differently. Today while we're addressing a topic of urban mining and waste to resource, I think the more fundamental challenge we need to address is why are we creating waste at all? So from a perspective of e-waste, and from a perspective of what Saahas Zero Waste is doing as an organization trying to promote circular economy, we are working in the space of refurbishing electronic items. So we are trying to bring this entire concept of repair, refurbish, reuse, and to someone, to a corporate who's having a policy that every 3 years they have to change their laptop, to another section of the society which is like rural India, which doesn't even have access to the grade 1 of a laptop. Why is there, why are we not able to transfer these resources from the urban to the rural? So this itself kind of, recycling is like the end of the whole journey, right? But why create waste? How can we prevent creating waste? How can we reuse the resource? Because all of these elements that we talked about, periodic table elements, are all sitting in all our electric components. Why don't we use it till end of life? So just a little bit of change of spare parts, screen, keyboard, etc., and give it to a section. And I think this is a great lesson we learned from COVID, where we have to bridge the divide between rural and urban India. And this is a great way to establish this entire system. It is a big behavioral change, but it is going to reduce the waste that is going to be going for recycling. And also with the e-waste rules getting amended and refurbishing being part of the mandate of the producers, that they have to, they can refurbish X% of their waste, is very progressive, and it brings the products back into usage cycle. So I think this is one important point. Another point I wanted to say is that all of this that we are discussing has to happen at scale, and then only we are going to get economic viability. So while Utkarsh is doing something on the lithium battery recycling, and he may be part of one state, but then how can we collaborate in order to bring scale? And we are very much prevalent in the southern India, and we have all our connects in the big manufacturing industry in southern India, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. How can we're talking about the automobile, we're talking about the electronics manufacturing, everyone is in southern India. How can we collaborate in order to bring this a system that's sustainable, wherein we can bring some kind of collection centers, we need to build infrastructure where these batteries can be stored in a very safe way, and then it can be routed to organizations like Utkarsh, which is another part of the country. So these kind of collaborations, I think, are going to help us solve this problem or challenge of scale. And that is what we need to do to advance, otherwise each of us will be working in silos in our own geographies, and we will not progress at the speed we need to progress. Thank you.
Good to know the way forward from Shobha. And now Dr. Harveen, I think I would go a little more academic, like what all additions or alterations in the regular curriculum can be done so that, you know, it comes from the school or college level in the students, that they understand when they will become a regular citizen, in terms of, you know, they will start earning, they have purchasing power, and how they can buy responsibly, and they can consume responsibly, and they can dispose it off responsibly. How this culture can be inculcated from the schools and colleges itself.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really an interesting question. From a student's perspective or from the perspective of curriculum, we already have environment subject in place in Delhi University and at other UG levels, wherein it is mandated by UGC that students are supposed to study it. And then we are also having skill enhancement courses now at university level, wherein students can choose among different programs or courses they are interested in. Even e-waste is one of them. So e-waste has been introduced as one of the subject at university level. And then, of course, when we talk about higher education, then we have a national education policy in place, which talks about skill development, environment awareness. So all these aspects are already in the policy, and a lot of researches are going on in different universities, wherein they are focusing on biodegradable raw materials that we can use in electronic products. In fact, Stanford University has done a great research on this, and Temple University in US is also doing this research. During my experience in 2022, wherein I was fortunate enough to do a training sponsored by UNITAR, we experienced a lot of researches over the globe, wherein many researchers talked about raw materials which are environment friendly, and how we can kind of use these materials in electronic products, so that when we are trying to discard them in the environment or the soil can absorb these materials, and then how plants can really I would say impact of these materials on plants can come. I mean, these kind of researches they are doing. So that is all is happening at higher education level. And when we talk about awareness about recycling or e-waste, then these days a lot of platforms are available online, wherein a consumer can sell their products. They have to be informed consumers in that way, that they need to know whenever they are buying any product, they should check the lifestyle of the product, life cycle, and then lifespan. For instance, some products like mobile phone and laptops have a lifespan of 3 to 5 years. So they have very high replacement rate. So accordingly, they can make a best choice. They can visit the brand of that particular owner or the manufacturer and see how we should discard these products. And then we have certain websites like Cashify, Kabadiwala, all these are available these days wherein we can sell our products even when we are buying through Amazon or Flipkart. They are also offering, options to the consumers wherein they can, give their old product and buy a new and get a discount in return. So these are, all ways through which we can become an informed citizen as well as contribute towards this urban recycling in an environment-friendly way.
Some very good suggestions from Dr. Harveen. And moving to batteries again. I have a question from Utkarsh that why can't we have a standardization in the batteries? Now we have for each everything, like in terms of I'm talking about EVs mainly. So for every vehicle we have a different type of battery. So if we have a standard type of batteries, probably charging, recycling will become more and more easier, and disposing of and recycling it would also become more easier. So if you can, give some views on this.
Sure, sir. So I think there are certain reasons to it. The most prominent reason to that is a technological barrier. Because when we talk about batteries of two-wheelers or two-wheelers or three-wheelers, so there you need more energy in a very small space. So that is why the packs, the lithium-ion battery packs that are made out of cylindrical cells that you would have seen, which is basically your chemistry that contains cobalt and nickel also into it. But when you talk about electric four-wheelers, there you have the complete base where you can play around with little, larger space. So for that, the technology has already evolved and it has come to a certain kind of cell which is called as LFP, which doesn't use these critical materials, cobalt and nickel. It only uses lithium, but at the same time delivers the same efficiency. So therefore, basis that the standardization is little difficult. But yes, the manufacturers have to make sure that whenever these batteries are made, so it should be easy to open and recycle. That's what is missing in the market, which I think a lot of manufacturers have started thinking about, because they need higher value for it. If their packs can't be opened, we can't pay for them, right? So they have started thinking about that. Apart from that, government battery waste management rules, guidelines have also come into place. Because of which all the producers are now compelled to make sure that their batteries start getting recycling, and I think that is like Shobha ma'am said. So we also work with Saahas and organizations who help us to collect also from all across the India to make sure that more and more batteries can be recycled, no matter whatever the chemistry is, whatever form factor is. The technology of recycling has to evolve in itself, so that it can recycle all kind of things. So I think bringing the standards on the producer side, it is also important to bring much evolved technologies on the recycler side who can recycle all kind of batteries. So that's what we have focused on.
Very nice. And now, last but not the least question. We all talk about all kind of technical things and what all efforts need to be done. So I have a straight question from Mr. Manish. Do you think like policies, politics, all these things also play some role in waste collection and recycling? A little bit different one. Huh?
So definitely policies and all these implications from the government body, they play a lot of big role. There's no doubt in it. But I would still say that when we talk about any scrap, I mean battery or plastics or metal, whatever, being from a plastic field, in recycling is what we call is, when you see the logo of recycling, it's that triangle. It is called chakri. Circular economy is what, like chakriyata. chakri, we call it.
Punah Chakran.
Chakran, chakriyata. And I always say when I am there on these type of platforms, that the biggest problem is, absence of sakriyata. People are not sakriya. I mean, when you ask me, government, all those definitely play an important role, but the most important role is this, that the awareness is missing. And because of the lack of awareness, these scraps are not the problem, the landfill is not the problem, the biggest problem is the awareness. I am dead sure that if, as we all are saying, since morning I am sitting here, if there is a proper source segregation, I am sure your 80% problems are solved. And like in battery, does anyone forget to charge his battery in the morning? Because he knows that if I don't charge, I will be nowhere. So he is having that much of awareness. But when it comes to the scrap, he doesn't have that awareness that I have to put the plastic in other can, I have to put the glass in other, I have to put. So that awareness is required. Government bodies, government policies, definitely now EPR regime you have seen, there are a lot of things happened, in the afternoon session somebody was sharing 5 crore ka company achanak 100 crore ka turnover kar liya. So there are a lot of things have taken place. This industry has boomed up like anything. Earlier recycling industry was supposed to be a non-organized. It was not supposed to be a white-collar job. Now, last 3 years, on each and every big platform, recyclers are invited for the talk. That is all because this industry has boomed. There is a lot of scope. Lot of government intervention is required to lift the companies like genuine people who want to do something different. Yes, of course, that's what.
I think we are done with the time already, and I hope it was an enlightening session for all the audience and all the esteemed panelists were able to throw some good points, some good light on the topic urban mining. So with the concluding remark, I would like to say only one thing, that recycling for anything in terms of urban mining is very much required and need of the time. We all need to focus on that. Today or tomorrow, the situation will come when we do not have anything left to mine or something. So do urban mining, do e-waste recycling as much as possible, recover precious metals, rare earths as much as possible, make Mother Earth less toxic by throwing all that material into the landfills. That's it. The only the final thing is how we are doing it.